Hey, it's Vanessa, the Crafty Gemini, and in this video, I'm stitching out more cockroaches on my embroidery machine. All right, y'all, let's stitch out some roaches. So I'm gonna go over some of the supplies you'll need. First, of course, is the design. This FSL cockroach design is from my friend Rhonda and her son Jonathan over at A Stitch in Time Embroidery Designs. The FSL here stands for freestanding lace. That means that we're going to stitch this out, then we're going to dissolve the wash away stabilizer that we stitch it out on, and you're gonna be left with nothing but thread. Okay, so this entire 3D roach that you can place anywhere is just made up of the 4 threads that you see right here, okay? It actually comes together in 2 parts. So the top is one piece that's stitched out, and then when I flip it over, the bottom here, the legs and the antennas are stitched out. It's a separate unit. And then you glue them together with a hot glue gun or some other type of fabric glue, okay? Now, I just want to give a shout out to Rhonda because of all the companies I've used, they probably have one of the most thorough PDF instructions that you can print out to go along with their designs. It has all the information on the options that you have, so you can stitch out one roach, okay, in a 4x4 hoop, for those of you that have embroidery machines that don't have a lot of the bigger hoops. But this one says FSL cockroach ×3, and this one I'm going to be stitching out on my 5x7 inch hoop. So if you use a larger hoop, you can stitch out 3 cockroaches at the same time. And I like to use these just to place around the table setting for a Halloween party. You can throw them in a chip bowl and things like that. I guarantee people are going to freak out. They scream every time they see it. This thing still creeps me out whenever I see it, and I stitched it out. So it's a great little accessory for your spooky and creepy Halloween party decor. All right. So the design, the PDF, and I'll include a link on where you can go to purchase the design from Rhonda's website here in the description box below. Then it calls for 4 different thread colors. And the PDF here just tells you a medium reddish brown. They're using Madeira polyester thread. I just have a mix here. I tried to get close to the colors just on the thread spools that I had in my stash. So a medium reddish brown, a dark tan color, a dark brown, and a black. Okay, this dark tan here is the same one repeated. So I'm using some sulky thread. I don't even know what this is. This is another sulky thread. I have a couple different brands here, but it doesn't really matter, right? You just want to get close to these designs or these colors. This is the medium reddish brown. So something like that, like a wine or a burgundy color would work good. A dark tan, which is this guy. Then I'll be using this for my dark brown, and then of course just solid black for the black. Now you want to go ahead and wind a bobbin of each of these colors. Because this design is a freestanding lace design, we want the top thread and the bobbin thread to be the same to match, because this is not stitched on fabric, right? Instead, wherever you turn it, you're going to see the bobbin stitches as well as the top stitches. So you want to have a bobbin of each of your 4 colors. Then again, I'm using my 5x7 inch hoop. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. It might be a little bigger, but that's fine. And then you're going to need 2 layers of a wash away plus or like a water soluble stabilizer that washes away, and this is specifically what we use for making freestanding lace designs. I also have a glue gun here because the roach comes together in 2 different parts, okay, and you'll see when it's stitched out. Now this PDF includes all the instructions that you need. You can kind of see here in this image how it is stitched out, the bottom part of the legs and then the top part of the body, and then these 2 get glued together. Okay, super fun. The PDF is super thorough. You can see all the different step-by-step pictures. Rhonda really does a great job with that, walking you through everything you need. So all you need is really an embroidery machine, the design, and then these couple supplies that we just went over. So I'm going to go ahead now and put 2 layers of this wash away stabilizer in here so I can get it loaded in my machine and start stitching out my roaches. Okay, so I'm going to get my machine set up. First thing, before I put on the hoop, I need to go in and put the bobbin that matches the top thread. And the first color is going to be that medium reddish brown or whatever it is. So I'll thread the machine. I'm going to fast forward through this, but just make sure that you're putting in the same colored bobbin to the thread that you're putting on top. Now we're going to put the hoop in. Put everything into place. Everything is threaded here. All right, so everything is set up so far. Let's go ahead and put the presser foot down and start stitching. All right, so this has finished stitching out. We can pull this out and let's head over to the table so I can show you what the next steps are to building our roaches. All right, so now we're going to take this out of here and cut around it because we don't want to have all that extra water-soluble stabilizer in the water. You see how it's stitched through both layers. I'm going to cut around it, try not to cut my stitching. Okay, once you trim away most of the excess, you're just going to dissolve that water-soluble stabilizer in some water. You're going to soak it in there until it's all gone. Then I have a little towel here, and you just want to lay it out to dry flat. So I'm going to sit here and fast forward through this so that I can do this to all of them. See how it starts to curl up, but now it's just the stitching that's left. Okay, and the last piece in there, let me start taking these guys out. I'm going to lay them all super flat to dry, and I'm going to fold a towel over them just to kind of pat them a little bit dry too. When they're pretty dry, I like to go in and trim off any little random thread tails that I have still sticking out, just so we have a nice clean finish when we put them all together. All right, so I got my silicone mat, my hot glue gun here, and I'm ready to assemble these guys up. When they're dry, okay, then you're gonna take, basically this is the top of the cockroach, and this is the bottom, okay? So you're gonna wanna position the top on top with a little bit of the head sticking out at the top like that. So don't cover where the antenna is coming out of completely, but just a little bit underneath. And you just want to put a couple of dots of hot glue here along the bottom part of the body, and then just hold it in place. And I'm going to do a little strip like that. Not too thick because you don't want it oozing out the sides either, but like this. And hold it there until that kind of sets a little bit. And then I love that the legs can actually be repositioned so that this can stand up. So if you're using it for some type of decor or prop, remember that you can do that too. Position them like this, like climbing into a bowl of snacks or whatever you want to do. So fun, so creepy. I love it. All right, let me do the other two. And just flip it over too when you're gluing it so you can make sure that the body is centered underneath. Make sure here that one, yeah, that's good. So flat or standing up. Okay, and that was pretty easy. Just trim up any little thread tails you see sticking out. Let that glue dry. All right, and that's it. That's all it takes to make some fun freestanding lace cockroaches. Remember that I included the link on where you can go to purchase it from a Stitch in Time embroidery designs. This is so much fun. These two, you can see I use slightly different color palette in terms of the thread spools that I used, and they still all look great like roaches. So if you have a little bit of color variety in your thread stash, I'm sure that you'll be able to make these with some colors that you have on hand. Okay? Thanks again for watching this video tutorial. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you tomorrow with another Spooky Craft Week tutorial.